Welcome to the tutorial for AlphaLab's rotation menu. This is where AlphaLab proposes, every week, which active strategies should be replaced by better candidates from the queue, based on the canonical ranking. We'll go through every card, every table column, every panel, and every button, one by one, so you have no doubts before applying a rotation. The rotation menu has 3 zones. At the top, 4 stack cards that summarize your book and the current proposal. In the center, a split panel. On the left, the proposed decisions table, and on the right, the proposal notes. And bottom right, the action bar with 3 buttons: refresh proposal, open HTML, and apply rotation. One key idea we'll repeat: nothing is applied to your real book until you press apply rotation and confirm. Let's start with the cards. The page subtitle sums it up: weekly swap proposals from the canonical ranking, which generate an HTML and a JSON in the runs/rotation_proposals folder. The canonical ranking is the ordered list of all your validated strategies. Rotation compares the ones you have active with the best candidates in the queue and tells you what to change. It's important to understand that this is just a proposal. The engine computes and writes a report, but it does not touch your book until you approve it. The first card, Active Strategies, shows how many strategies you currently have active. The card's caption, Current Book, reminds you that this is your live portfolio, the strategies that are actually trading or generating signals. This number is read from the portfolio_state.json file, which is the single source of truth on what is active. In the on-screen example, it's 7 strategies. The second card, Queue Size, shows the size of the candidate's queue, validated strategies that are ready to enter but are not active yet. They are taken from the canonical ranking and sorted by score from highest to lowest, so the first in the queue are the most promising. Importantly, the queue excludes the strategies you already have active, so it never proposes something you're already running. In the example, there are 10 candidates in the pool. The third card, Proposed Decisions, counts how many decisions this cycle's proposal contains. Each decision is a row in the table below, a swap, or an expansion. The caption changes with the state. This cycle when there are decisions. No proposal, yet if you haven't generated one. And no rotation needed when a proposal exists, but the engine concludes nothing needs rotating. In the example, there are 3 proposed decisions. The fourth card, Proposal Age, tells you how long ago the latest proposal on disk was generated. If it's less than a day old, it shows in hours, between 1 and 7 days, in days, and in green. And from 7 days on, it turns red to warn you. This is critical. If the proposal is older than 7 days, the ranking may have changed, so you should regenerate it with refresh proposal before applying. In the example, it's red, 14 days, a stale proposal that should be refreshed. The central panel, Decisions, is the heart of the page, the list of swaps and expansions suggested for this week. Next to the title, there's an information icon with an eye. Hover it, and it shows the exact rules the engine follows. An active strategy with a score below 50 is flagged as a candidate to leave. A queue candidate with a score of 75 or above is considered promotable. And again, the reminder shown in that tooltip. A decision is not applied until you click Apply Rotation. Now let's look at each table column. The first 3 columns describe the strategy that enters. Kind tells you the type of decision. Swap if it's a replacement, that is, one enters and another leaves. Or expansion if it's a new add, a strategy that enters without any leaving because there's room in the book. Swap in is the name of the strategy that enters, for example SPX 500 USD on H4. And Score, candidate score, is its score with 2 decimals. The higher, the stronger the candidate. In the first row of the example, the candidate enters with a score of 93.19. The next 2 columns describe the strategy that leaves. Swap out is the name of the active strategy being retired in a swap, for example UK 100 GBP on D1. If the decision is an expansion, nobody leaves, so this cell shows the label in parentheses, expansion. Active score is the current score of that active strategy, also with 2 decimals. The idea is visual. At a glance, you see a candidate with a very high score coming in to replace an active one with a very low score. In the first row, an active strategy with a score of 3.04 leaves, replaced by the 93 candidate. The last column, Reason, is the plain text justification for each decision, and it's the widest because it carries the full why. Read, for example, the active UK 100 GBP on D1 has score 3, below the floor of 50, so it's replaced by SPX 500 USD on H4 with score 93. Every row explains itself. You see the threshold that triggers the exit and the score that justifies the entry. This makes every rotation auditable. You never have to guess why the engine proposes a change. On the right is the notes panel, a bullet list with the context of the proposal. Here you see, for example, the no replacement cases, active strategies with a low score for which there was no good enough candidate in the queue, so the engine decides not to rotate them. At the end, you'll always see two metadata lines, generated at, with the exact date and time the proposal was generated, and JSON, with the full path of the file on disk in case you want to inspect it. If there's no proposal yet, this panel invites you to click Refresh Proposal to generate one. The Refresh Proposal button generates a new proposal from the canonical ranking as it stands right now. Under the hood, it runs the rotation worker in propose mode, which recomputes the swaps and writes a new HTML and a new JSON. While it runs, the status below shows computing proposal, and the interface stays responsive. It's the first action you'll take if there's no proposal, or if the proposal age card is red. Always regenerate before applying so you work with the freshest ranking. The Open HTML button opens, in your browser, the full proposal report. The same information as the table, but in a document you can save or share. It's only enabled if the HTML file exists on disk. If there's no proposal, it's disabled. And bottom left you have the status label, which keeps you informed of what's happening. The name of the latest loaded proposal, for example proposal the 8th of June, or messages like computing, applying, done, or, if something fails, the specific error. It's your confirmation that each action finished correctly. The Apply Rotation button, in red because it's the serious action, is the only one that truly changes your book. When you press it, it mutates the portfolio_state.json file, applying the proposal's swaps and expansions. Before doing anything, it shows a confirmation dialog warning you. This change is persistent. The dashboard, the live monitor, and the Tier 2 signal pipeline will all see the new active set on the next refresh. It only runs if you answer yes. For safety, the button is only enabled when there are decisions to apply, and it's recommended to refresh first if the proposal was stale. And that's the whole rotation menu. In short, the 4 cards give you the state at a glance. The decisions table details what enters, what leaves, and why. The notes panel adds the context, and the 3 buttons let you generate, review, and apply. The recommended flow: press Refresh Proposal to generate with the freshest ranking, review each row and the notes, open the HTML if you want the full report, and only then press Apply Rotation and confirm. Remember, nothing changes your book until you approve it. In the next videos, we'll cover the rest of the menus in the same detail.